So, hey guys, we're going to be looking at the Bahrain Grand Prix circuit today. Obviously, we've got the Bahrain 2021 Grand Prix this weekend. So I figured it'd be a good idea just to take a look at the circuit so that we all know it ready for the weekend, so that we know where things are happening. Because, not gonna lie, it gets a little annoying trying to remember from the brief sky overview of the circuit which corner is which. When they say turn 8, I want to know which turn 8 it is. So, going to start out with the GT86 by Toyota, just to kind of get a quick baseline of how quick we can go around the circuit. I mean, I'm no pro sim racer. I am just a plebeian that likes to drive cars that I can't own in real life. So I'm going to start with an ordinary road car, and we're going to move on to what I think are some quite special cars. So, without any further ado, let's jump in and have a little play. Let's give you guys some sound. There we go. So we are starting from the pit lane, as you can see. Turn 1 I quite like in the races because it bunches everyone up, to be honest. It gives a good overtaking opportunity later in the race, due to the heavy braking zone at the end of a DRS zone. And because of how tight it is, I don't feel it's just a formality in terms of an overtake, because at the end of the day, there is still potential for a cutback. So we've had a nice straight. I'm vastly overestimating how quick this car can go around here. So just having a nice old poodle around. We're going to do a couple of laps in this car just to get a vague idea of the circuit. I mean, I have had a couple of warm-up laps, I'm not going to lie, in other cars, but not in this one. I've never actually driven the GT86 on here, on Assetto Corsa. So, just a bit about this track. This is not a standard track with Assetto Corsa. This is a modded track that you have to download and install yourself. So, while I'm going down this straight, I'm just going to quickly look up who I got this from. So, I downloaded this circuit. I get all of my downloads for Assetto Corsa from Race Department. It's where most people, I think, get theirs from. It's quite a nice little community. You can sign up for free, download content not only for Assetto Corsa but for quite a whole range of games. So I got this circuit from a creator named LavaLamp641. Sorry, oh there we go. Going to go off because I was looking at my other screen. Told you I was a pleb. Yeah, so LavaLamp641 is the creator of this map. I didn't just download the Grand Prix circuit, it does come with all layouts. What I'll do is I'll pop a link to the resource package in the description below. Please do go and download it for yourselves. I'm actually finding this quite nice to drive. I mean, no glitches. I'm not finding any issues with any of the textures or anything. It is quite nice. So, start finish straight. You'll see in the top left our timer has just restarted. So let's have a go. And the one thing I love about races in the Middle East is that they invest so much money that the infrastructure just looks amazing. It's going to brake roughly on a 100-meter board, and the car's just got no grip because apparently the tyres have gone cold. So around a nice tight turn 1, relatively tight turn 2. They're good little flowing corners, I find. Around turn 3 onto a mini straight, past the Grosjean crash site. Gladio's alright. And the straight, another heavy braking area, because in F1 cars they will be going very quick here. Into the twisty section. Now obviously just left there would go off for the Sakir circuit, their short track. We're going to carry on round. Quick little blip of the brake to try and transition some weight. This is a road car, so the suspension is not exactly set up for circuit use. There's no brake markers here, which I find really interesting, which means I always get the braking point wrong. There's a nice little cutback opportunity into a little drag. If they're having a little battle through here, it's quite nice. This braking section is quite interesting. You'll see a lot of people go off to the right there as they upset the rear end balance under braking, because you kind of have to brake into the first smaller apex. So you are turning slightly, which obviously, if you've ever done any sort of racing, you're not supposed to brake while turning. I think this is considered the back straight because it is running parallel to the front straight. I've broken way too much there. You can carry quite a lot of speed through here. Actually, it's quite a sweeping long left-hander that you can generally carry quite a bit of speed. Here, I generally lift off slightly, just to keep the car turning on the apex, and then you've got to sweep out to the left. Got a little kink on the right, followed by the apex onto a drag down to the final corner. And the circuit is very simple, but it is very flowing. I mean, out of all of the modern day circuits, it's actually one of my more favoured, purely because they can keep quite a high average speed, and the track is wide enough that there are overtaking opportunities, you know, whether they be DRS assisted or not. You know, a lot of people don't like the tilt philosophy of a long straight into a tight corner, but sometimes it does work. I'm not saying every time, but sometimes. So we've just done a nice meandering 2:44 on that lap. And again, my tyres are ridiculously cold, so I can't do anything there. I'm just going to poodle around again, just as another little sighter lap. You know, nice slow lap, just so we can get a picture of the circuit, and then we're going to jump into something a little bit faster. Again, I broke too much there, but road carving's just going to wash out to the outside anyway. There we go. That's it, turning too early. Love it. You love to see it. Okay. So you see that little upset rear balance there as I just applied the brakes a bit, you know, nice and gently into the first of the left apexes, and the back decided to get a little unsettled there. I think in F1 they actually take that slightly wider, but like I say, I am no professional driver. I am a pleb that owns a steering wheel and likes to drive cars that you can't own in real life. And funnily enough, the next car I have lined up after this one is a car which I very much wish I could own in real life, but sadly I will never get the opportunity to. Okay, down this final little drag to the final corner. Brake about the 100-meter board, that seems appropriate. Nice and turned in. Good amount of curb there. Oh, like this is a road car and not an F1 car. And we're just gonna put our foot to the floor to the line. Okay, so we shaved off 1.7 seconds. So now that we've had a nice little sighter in the GT86, let's jump over to something a little quicker. Okay guys, so car number 2, the Koenigsegg 11. It's one of my favourite cars. You know, it's one of was the first car to reach a megawatt of power. Koenigsegg has actually been one of those brands that I look up to ever since I was small. Sitting here as a 30-year-old man, I've looked up to it since I was small. I mean, I actually emailed them on one occasion, sent them a drawing I did when I was about 10 years old of a car. It was a six-wheeled car. And they did reply to me, which quite nice. Quite a nice feeling as a 10-year-old lad. But yeah, so Koenigsegg 1-1. First car with a megawatt of power. So technically, by definition, it's the first mega car. You got supercars, hypercars. Now you got mega cars. The 1-1 standing for a 1-to-1 power to weight ratio. So I've got this. Again, I've downloaded it from Race Department, and I've downloaded it from a user named CCX. Quite appropriate, considering it's a Koenigsegg. So yeah, just like with the Bahrain circuit, I will pop a link in the description for that download. So this is slightly quicker than our GT86. It is another road car, but it's a road car with a whole lot of power. And other than loading a circuit just to make sure that the car actually came into the game properly, I haven't driven it, so this should be interesting. I'm going to brake nice and early because this has a whole lot of power and not a lot of brakes. See, and good night, Vienna. Okay, we've got a bit of a jumpy game there. Oh, something's not happening. But you get the idea. A very powerful car, very big stopping zones, not very good brakes. So we're just going to pool around here. I will attempt to set a lap. I don't hold much faith in my driving ability to control this enough to actually be able to set a lap. But I will do this one-sighter and then we'll move on, because I know that people probably won't enjoy me just making a smeg out of myself all too much. But especially when apparently the brakes just don't work. Let's use this lovely little side road. That's one thing that Bahrain is very good for, is its support structure. I mean, I know that a lot of the community is very divided over, oh my goodness, over the support in terms of Grosjean crash, but one freak accident does not mean that everything is terrible. I'm gonna brake hella early, and it's still not enough. Just for note, on the left, I do have my pedal feed so that you can see what I'm doing. So, now with extremely cold tyres, let's see about a lap. Okie dokie. Fun. Right, oh, blimey. And I really misjudged that. Right, okay. Yeah, that's... I'm going to have to practice this calming things, because this is not so great. And I know I'm not good at driving, but jeez Louise, Papa Cheese. That's it. And now I'll brake early. Nice, good job, Jimmy. Good job. Oh. Well, sorry, I'm not talking overly much, but firstly, you're probably fed up with my rambling. Secondly, there's nothing really worth saying. And thirdly, I am actually struggling a little bit here to deal with this. So I think this car is a bit past my capabilities. Maybe it's a good thing that I probably won't, well, I won't ever own one in real life. Don't want to be one of those, clickbaited articles on Drive Tribe You know, guy buys Koenigsegg 1-1, smashes it into tree 20 seconds later because he doesn't know what he's doing and he hasn't got the skill to drive it. Although I think as long as you're being responsible in cars, you should be alright. Okay, so with the GT86, our fastest time was a 2:44. I mean, although this lap is not going to count because I went off, you can see in the top left from the timer just how quick this car is in comparison. I mean, that's almost a 30-second difference with me going off multiple times, and I can't even stop for the first corner. Love it. Love it. I mean, but, yeah, I mean, in all fairness to Koenigsegg, this isn't a track car. I mean, it is a car built for a showroom, whether that be a billionaire's showroom or their own. And it's also built for top speed runs, of course, and as a point of concept, which, again, with Koenigsegg, a lot of their stuff is point of concept, because they are absolutely amazing at engineering, despite how terribly I drive their car in Assetto Corsa. So on that bombshell, let's switch over to something a bit more appropriate for a circuit. Right, so car number 3 is this. It's something a little bit different, and it is the Formula Vector. Now, when I was going through the race department list, this popped out because this is a car that's actually built ground up by its creator, purely as a just to see what would happen sort of thing, I guess. The creator is Jackoman3, and again, link in the description below. So just to give a bit of insight, let's quickly look. So, powered with a twin-charged 2.3 litre cross-plane V8, outputting 892 bhp at 10,000 RPM, but also has electric motors in the front wheel hubs to add an additional 377 horsepower, equating to a combined 1,269. 69, nice. So yeah, so very powerful. But actually, I have tried this. You know, I've done a couple of laps in it, just to give it a go, make sure that it works. And it's a very nice car to drive, actually. I quite enjoy it. So, let's give you guys some sound, and then let's get into some driving. This does have manually operated DRS as well. So, you'll see in the middle of the cluster, oh, nice, whoop. As you can see, strong brakes. So in the cluster in the middle, obviously you've got your gearing, you've got your revs. That little green box, that's your DRS, so you'll see I can activate it there. It will deactivate when I brake. Quite nice that the creator has set that up for us. You know. Right. Now again, I'm just going to do a cycle lap. And you can probably already see, just from the footage, how much easier this is to drive in comparison to the 1-1. He says, as he steps the back out, like an absolute plebeian. Now, you may be wondering why I keep locking my brakes. I don't run with ABS on. Well, actually, I'll run with the factory settings for both ABS and traction control on all cars I drive in this game. So I'm going to assume this car probably doesn't have ABS, probably doesn't have traction control. Which does mean that I need to remember to actually regulate my left foot for my brake. Should have gone further left there. This is, I must say, this is one of the easiest, well, also fastest cars I've driven in this game. It's very nice. I do thoroughly enjoy this car. I mean, Jackoman3 did a hell of a job building this car. So let's give it some beans. Whoops. Okay, second straight, DRS open. Oh, bit of a different beast in comparison to the 1-1. Ah, do you know what? In practice, that's the corner I kept mucking up as well. Okay, let's give it another go, because we're halfway round after 30 seconds. So you can see the speed difference already. And I'm sorry about any jumpiness you might be seeing. Sometimes when you're using multiple downloaded assets at the same time, such as cars and tracks together, the game, or my game at least, does sometimes have a bit of a hissy fit and decide that it doesn't like it. Alright, let's give it a take two, shall we? Oh, nuts. I was looking down at my counter rather than looking up. So just for a bit of context, we did a 2:13 in the Koenigsegg. Going off on the first lap, we did a 1:33. Whoa, and now I've overbraked. That's it, normal male thing to do, overcompensating. Love it. I really need to be softer with my brake. Just got to keep the back end in check there. Have to be really delicate. The undulations in the road while turning, while braking. Funnily enough, the physics dislikes it. Oh, I couldn't quite save it. Alright, we'll finish this lap and go on to something else, because I don't want to stick on the same cars too much. I'd like to give a nice varied look. I've got something a little bit extreme lined up as the next car. Full beans out the final corner. Let's go. Counter steer away. Okay, so our fastest time is going to be the 1:33. There we go. Formula Vector. Highly recommend this car. Great car. Jackaman 3, spot on job, Sam. Well done. Okay, guys. So car number 4 is the Formula DS. Now, you've probably seen this on channels such as Jimmy Broadbent's, where he tries to take it around the Nordschleife. Obviously, this is a rocket-powered Formula 1 car, created by Pierre Liggio on Race Department. Again, I will include a link in the description below. So yeah, I mean, if you've seen this before, it's absolutely ridiculous. You know, top speed of 16,360 kilometers an hour, where possible. Yeah. Not a lot to say about it really, other than I'm probably going to struggle to make a lap. I mean, I struggled in the Vector, and this is going to be even more ridiculous. But let's give it a go. Okay, let's limber up. Apparently we're just going to drive through our pit crew. Oh, it's always so jarring, the brakes in this thing, because you can floor it like that and then stop on a dime. Yes, we did just cut across quite a lot of the circuit there. Let's just feather it around, shall we? Ugh. And no, that wasn't your speakers blowing up, that was the rocket engine kicking in. Yes, it's got that much downforce that we can just turn at 320 kilometers an hour, apparently. Goes to prove his point and ends up in the pits. Well done, Jimmy. Alright. I'm sorry for anyone who gets seasick watching this when I hit the barriers. I'm just gonna... I don't know how much throttle that is. Yeah, like my big... Well, I can tell you this is my big toe. And it's 200 mile an hour. So... Now you can see why it took Jimmy so many times to get around the Nordschleife. It just turns in an instant. It's just craziness. Let's wash out to the left and cut back. Oh, not too sharp. Avoid those barriers. And I am only using first gear at this point, by the way. Tell you what, let's line it up. Let's give some gearing. Oh, James! Come on! Love the way that I had traction control going while I was spinning here. Right, let's finish this lap. Nope, that's not. Cut detected. That's definitely not a cut. Oh, too soon. There we go. Right, I tell you what, let's just get around the start finish line and try that. Because this is going to continue to be ridiculous, no matter how much effort I try to put into it. Turning circle, please. There we go. So if you want to try something ridiculous, this is the car to try. And yes, I'm coasting at 200 miles an hour. There we go. Right, okay. On to the start finish straight. Let's give it some beans. And stop. Good timing on the stop. Oh, I've not got a turning circle for it. Come on. Right, okay, there we go. Stop there. Mad respect to fighter pilots right here. Bottomed out on that curve there. Like I say, I'm not going to bother with gears at the moment. Just because I'm finding it hard enough as it is. And it would just go far too fast for me to deal with. Maybe across the start finish straight. Start finish line. There you go. Whoosh! Boom. Okay guys, that's where I'm going to leave the DS. Okay guys, so the final car of this video, it is the F2004 Ferrari. Now, obviously everyone loves the old engines, so I figured instead of doing a modern F1 car and seeing what times they can do around here, because we know that obviously they are quicker, more technologically advanced, blah, de blah, de blah. We love the sound. Sound inspires emotion, inspires love. So we're going to give this a poodle around, okay? So just for context, the pole position by Lewis Hamilton last year was 1:27.2. I'm going to get nowhere near it, but let's have a look. Don't have the steering angle for that first corner. Oh no. Oh, it was going to be a good time as well. Okay, guys. So, hopefully that's given you some nostalgia as to what the engines used to be like. I'm going to call this one here now. This car is glorious, and I don't do enough justice to continue doing more laps. In public, at least. But yeah, if you like the video, I'd appreciate you just tapping that like button. If you want to give a cheeky subscribe and all that niceties, please feel free. And if you would like me to change up how I'm doing anything, this is my first one of these. So, you know, the format is it's pretty loosey-goosey. I was just going to take some random cars around the circuits so that you guys can see what they're like. But if you have any suggestions, please do pop them in the comments below. I will read them all. But I'm just going to leave you with this noise. Have a great week. Enjoy the F1 at the weekend. Hope whoever you're rooting for does well, and I hope there's no accidents, especially no more repeats of Grosjean. Much love and catch you later.